It's Ricky Rich with Black Primacy with a quick question. Have you downloaded the Black Primacy app yet? If you haven't, don't worry about it. I just wanted to remind you that it is the number one way to find Black owned businesses near you. Whether you're looking for food, fashion, or services, we've got you covered on this app. So download it now and start supporting Black owned businesses in your area today. All right? Link in the description.
Well, the impact of job loss is being felt nationwide, especially among Black women in the labor force. According to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, in February, more than 10.5 million Black women were employed. But by June, that number dropped below 10.3 million. That's a loss of more than 300,000 employees in just months. Some of that job loss can be attributed to cuts in the federal workforce and the dismantling of DEI programs in the public and private sectors. Gender economist Katika Roy joins us now. She recently wrote an article for MSNBC that examined Black women leaving the labor force, and she joins us now with more on what she found. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
300,000 Black women leaving the workforce in 3 months sounds like an alarming number. How and why did this happen? And why do you say it's not a coincidence?
Well, the job cuts, yeah, it's a good question. So if we take a step back, this is an economic alarm bell. The primary piece that we are seeing is the federal job cuts and the agencies that were actually targeted for those cuts, which such as education and healthcare, which are predominantly employed Black women. So, for instance, if you look at women's labor force participation and the percentage of Black women in the labor force, they make up about 6% of the labor force, but 12% of federal jobs.
Wow. And we've certainly seen that loss, and we felt that loss locally for sure with the federal reduction. What kind of impact? So we talked a little bit about the economic effect. What kind of impact is the loss of Black women in the workforce having locally, nationally? I mean, what does it mean for the future when it comes to things like student loans, home ownership, and building generational wealth?
And that's a great point. So one of the things that we know is for every percentage point of women leaving the labor force, it actually hits GDP at about $164 billion. So in other words, the connection is 1% equals about 146 billion GDP loss. But then we have things such as housing, the spillover effects that you were talking about, housing, healthcare, education, et cetera. And we've seen that even with inflation, right? So Black women on average earn 64 cents on the dollar, but the inflation rate as of last week is 3 times that for women's goods and services.
Let me ask you, while all of this news seems very, very bleak, is there an upside? How do we go about reversing this trend?
Well, one of the things that we assume is that policy is gender neutral. It's not. It's gender ignorant. And what I mean by that is when we make these cuts, we're assuming that it's gender neutral. It isn't. It's gender ignorant. And the issue is that it impacts everyone. It doesn't only impact Black women, it impacts the entire economy. Just as one example, between 1970 and 2016, women increasing their labor force participation added $2 trillion to the U.S. economy. When we see Black women leaving the labor force, we're actually shrinking our economy.
Wow. And as you wrote, that affects every single one of us. So when we talk about that big number again, 300,000 women, Black women leaving the workforce in just a couple of months, what sort of trends did you see? Are they out of the workforce? Are they becoming entrepreneurs? Where are these 300,000 women going? What are they doing now?
That's a great question. We don't really know. What we can look at from historical data is that there are 2 things that are probably happening. One is that they are becoming entrepreneurs, so small business owners. That's one piece. Or they're joining the informal economy. So they may not be participating in the formal economy, which is tracked by things like the monthly jobs report, but they're participating in the informal economy.
Let me just ask a last question here. For the many women who are watching right now who are in this space, what would you tell them? What would your advice to them be?
Tell your story. I would say stand up and speak out. We need, the stories that I have heard just from publishing this article 5 days ago are incredible, and we need to hear your voices, and we need you. This is not just an issue of equity or fairness. This is actually an issue of economic opportunity for everyone.
All right. Gender economist Katika Roy, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate your perspective.
Thank you.
All right, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please check out the other content that we have on this channel. But before you go, I wanted to remind you again not to forget to check out the Black Primacy app. It is the best way to connect with Black-owned businesses near you. They need your support. We need your support. Link in the description.